Welcome back. It's Friday night. We made it to Friday. Hopefully this stream will go better than last night's. Man, they had the audio and the video so far out of sync. It's just disgusting what they do to people that, they don't want to hear what we have to say, but, too bad. We're going to keep on doing it. And, here we go. So we're going to jump right into a few headlines here, then we'll jump into the maps and all the crazy news out there. Hopefully everybody had a good week. So here we go, man. I thought this was really interesting. The NOAA plane, the chemtrail sniffer plane, the plane that drops the dropsons into the hurricane, was headed to Hurricane Lorenzo, and then it was diverted for a search and rescue mission. Now, I don't know how they would help in a search and rescue mission, but the zigzagging path of the hurricane research flight after it was diverted on a search and rescue mission. See, they're just trying to come up with a story for the weird flight patterns. But what they're saying is the boat with 14 crew on board may have been caught up in Hurricane Lorenzo. The plane was diverted at the request of the U.S. Coast Guard. The mission prompted the plane to take a zigzagging flight path. Does anybody believe that? So, a seasoned boat out here and a crew is not going to get close to a hurricane. Now, come on. Now, the NOAA research plane heading out to collect data on the record-breaking Hurricane Lorenzo in the eastern Atlantic Ocean was diverted to search for a boat in distress dangerously close to the monster storm. At the request of the U.S. Coast Guard, the NOAA 43 was asked to investigate the last known positions of a search and rescue satellite hits for the vessel. Shannon said the P-3 aircraft, which is known as Miss Piggy, was searching for a tugboat called Bourbon Road. The plane had taken off Friday morning from Barbados. It left the search area and was on its way back to Barbados around 5 p.m. I mean, this just sounds fishy. The boat sent a distress call on Thursday morning, according to a report on the Ship Tracker website. It was en route for Las Palmas in the Canary Islands to Georgetown. The report said the boat was taking on water and 14 crewmen needed rescue. There was no immediate word on the condition of the boat or the crew. The tug appeared to have been at least within 120 miles from the center of Lorenzo and may have been as close as 65 to 70 miles from the rapidly intensifying hurricane, according to the location distress signal by the fleet. I mean, there's something don't sound right about this story. And maybe it's just my conspiratorial brain. But, any word on the boat? Did they find the boat? No. No updates to the stories. So did they make this up? Who knows? But when you go look at their path today, let's see if I got it here. They created a perfect star. Look at that. I mean, that's like a perfect star formation. A 6-pointed star at that, I might add. So you can always check their flight paths when they're dropping these dropsons into the hurricanes, into the storms. Anyway, yeah, so I don't know. I just thought that story was pretty freaky. And it just didn't sound right. It didn't sound like something they would normally do. And then there's nothing else reported on it. What about this? Skydiver dies after hitting a big rig, landing in a highway in California. This is a pretty horrible story. It was actually a lady, a 28-year-old woman from Colombia, was skydiving in a group of 7 people in a big rig. After hitting the big rig, she collided with the shoulder. And the bad thing is the dad and the brother seen it. They were in their cars. Whoa. So just a horrible story. It's been freaky here lately. We had the skydivers that were almost hit by the Air Force, the A-10s or whatever, up in Canada. And now we have a skydiver that's got killed over California. This company, I guess, has a really bad track record. From 1999 to 2018, 16 people died jumping from planes that took off from this parachute center. So her parachute failed to open. That's why there's a big hole in the top of that truck. Well, that's actually a tarp, man. It looks like trash. Maybe she would have hit that square center. Who knows, could have possibly lived. Man, what a way to go. Alright, so this is pretty freaky too. Mysterious cloud shaped like Tinkerbell from Peter Pan spotted in the sky above Cumbria. Stunned taxi driver. Took the pictures. There's a couple pictures here. I didn't know it was a Tinkerbell picture. Come on. But look at the chemtrails, man. These are chemtrails drifting out. Just another sign in the sky. So the dad at 4 spotted the spell-binding formation in the sky while driving to a gas station on his day off. The quick-thinking taxi driver stopped, got out before snapping a photo on his mobile. Originally from Sutherland, said, I was in my taxi but obviously can't use my phone while behind the wheel, so I jumped out of the cab. Stood at the side of the road where I took the photo of the cloud. If we do this, we get the little YouTube chemtrail promotion under our video. Like a conspiracy video, man. I mean, this is plain as day. These are chemtrails. We went and looked at them at the worldview map. So, the way they describe it, it was a bit of magic. He seems to be a real hot spot for cloud phenomenon, but Tinkerbell is one of a kind. Cloud phenomenon. How about weather warfare? That's what we're looking at. We're looking at intentional chemtrails in the sky, cloud seeding, whatever, albedo modification, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, contrail banner. We'll get a contrail banner now. Hey out there, Mary. Tell them, hey. I'm not sure who that is, but hey. All right, so here we go. Couple felt so violated after a hacker took over the people's smart home devices and began talking to them. This is only the beginning. We're seeing hackers hack into these smart thermostats and smart lights and all that stuff. Just wait till the government gets hooked into all this stuff. They'll be giving you subliminal messages. So up in Milwaukee, a couple says their smart home was hacked after their camera began talking to them, and their thermostat reached up towards 90 degrees. The Westmore family installed a Nest camera, doorbell, and thermostat in their home in 2018. They had no problems until they heard a voice talking through the camera in their kitchen. It was supposed to make me feel safe, and I didn't feel safe. My heart was racing. I felt so violated at that point. Look, ladies and gentlemen, you do not want any of this smart technology into your house. Not only can they spy on you and record all your conversations, you're talking millimeter waves. You're talking Bluetooth. None of it is good for you. In fact, here's some smart tech promoted for dementia patients. Expose them to radiation that can disrupt the blood-brain barrier. So there's been many studies spanning many decades that confirm exposure to all sources of cell phone and wireless Wi-Fi radiation is biologically harmful to people. It's not just about increased cancer risk. There's even research that confirming the exposure disrupts the blood-brain barrier, which can cause it to leak. Unfortunately, many people still don't know this, or maybe they just don't want to believe it. Regardless, promoting wireless and smart devices, smart utility meters, and smart homes to dementia patients seems to be a growing trend, despite the fact that it may be one of the dumbest ideas ever. So just another article to back up that one. So if you don't want your blood-brain barrier disrupted and leaking, then don't get any of this stuff. It's simple as that. Go back to the old days, landlines. CDC sends warning to hunters after deer with tuberculosis found to transmit bacteria to people. Now this has actually been going on for a long time. The U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention shared a warning to hunters after a man in Michigan was found to develop tuberculosis caused by bacteria transmitted from deer carcass. In a report released this week, the CDC said the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services was notified in 2017 of a 77-year-old man who had tuberculosis caused by the bacteria Mycobacterium or M. bovis. The man had no history of travels to countries. Ooh, I don't want to look at that. That's gross. I didn't even see that picture when I was going through this article earlier. The man also lived in Lower Pennsylvania, Peninsula of Michigan, which has a higher occurrence of the positive deer. The bovis positive deer, the CDC said. After testing, the man had been exposed to the M. bovis or tuberculosis. Why don't they just call it what it is? The report suggests that the man may have inhaled the bacteria while field dressing the deer carcass. 2 earlier hunting-related human infections were reported in Michigan in 2002 and 2004. In those cases, the patients had signs and symptoms of the tuberculosis and required medical treatment, the CDC said. So it typically spreads through infected droplets when someone's sick with TB coughs or sneezes. The bacterial infection usually attacks the lungs, but can also spread to other parts of the body, according to WebMD. Hey, thanks out there, Ho Hunter. So, wow. We got this, another one of these, super toxic, deployments going on. And we'll see if we can listen to how they explain this.
Australian photographer Michael Marsden recently captured a series of spectacular images that quickly went
That's right, spectacular images.
viral online. The plane seen here is a Qatar Airways 777. It looks like it's painting rainbows in the sky.
Oh, it's painting something in the sky, that's for sure.
While some people have wondered if the images are photoshopped, Marsden insists
No, we film it every day. Hey, thanks out there, Ho Operator. And Ho Operator, Ho and Ho. Ho, ho, ho. All right, let me.
the photos are legit. Weather Network meteorologist Kelly Sonnenberg says there's a simple explanation.
Yeah, a simple explanation. You got ships out in the ocean deploying bunker fuel. You got planes and drones spraying the shit out of our skies every day. And they're creating a synthetic fake cloud above the sky, trapping all the heat in, causing the climate chaos.
Behind the phenomenon.
This natural phenomenon occurs when moist air from the plane's exhaust cools in the cold temperatures in the upper levels of the troposphere.
They're not flying up in the troposphere,
forming ice crystals. Now, with all those tiny ice crystals and particles present,
oh, they're going to buffer us out. I see how they want to play. Oh, they're not going to let us, they don't want us to make fun of it. I wonder if I can fast forward a little bit. They're not going to let us play it. All right. Oh, well. Well, their description is nonsense, and it's a lie. How about the environmental impact of the shipping? Includes air pollution, water pollution, acoustic, and oil pollution. I didn't even think about the acoustic part of the cargo ships and stuff. So ships are responsible for more than 18% of some air pollutants. Wow, that's way more than the cars. It also includes greenhouse gas emissions. The International Maritime Organization estimates that carbon dioxide emissions from shipping were equal to 2.2% of the global human-made emissions. That was just in 2012. And expect them to rise 50 to 250% by 2050 if no action is taken. How about just stop the ships, quit running them on bunker fuel? How about some Tesla technology on these ships? How about solar panels or something? So let me get down where I was wanted to read. Oh yeah, all right, here. So the ballast water that they dump contains plants, animals, viruses, bacteria. These materials often include non-native nuisance, exotic species, invasive species, and can cause extensive ecological and economic damage to aquatic ecosystems, along with serious human health problems. So here you go. How about stopping the ships, stopping the planes, and we have blue skies again. So there's an aspect I never even thought of, is the sound pollution caused by shipping and other human enterprises has increased in recent history. Oh, you mean like the U.S. military dropping bombs on the islands, stuff like that, the sonar. The noise produced by ships can travel long distances, and marine species who may rely on the sound for their orientation, communication, and feeding can be harmed by this sound pollution. So they have identified ocean noise as a potential threat to marine life. The disruption of whales' ability to communicate with one another is an extreme threat. Wildlife collisions. Atmospheric pollution. Look at that. They only give you one line. What? They only give one line on the atmospheric pollutions. Are you kidding me? Exhaust gases from ships are considered to be a significant source of air pollution, both for conventional pollutants and greenhouse gas. So that's all they're going to give us. Conventional pollutants. The ships are generated by diesel engines that burn high sulfur fuel, also known as bunker fuel, bunker oil, producing sulfur dioxide, nitrogen oxide, and particulate. You know, particulate like a 2.5 micron nanoparticulate heavy metal, aluminum, barium, strontium, lithium, addition to the carbon dioxide, and hydrocarbons. So the total global air emissions, shipping account for 80 to 30% of the nitrogen oxide and sulfur oxides. Hey, thanks there, Melody. You know, and there's one thing, you can go right over to the Earth's Null School, and if you put this map on the chemical layer and then go down to the sulfur dioxide, you can actually see that the shipping containers are leaving these long straight lines, just like chemtrails in the sky. but they're leaving the trails in the ocean, and they're all over the place. You know, they're different. Like you see the wider ones here, you know, not as heavy. But then you do got heavy ones coming off Guam, real heavy going from China or Japan down to whatever's down here. They're just everywhere, man. The whole, that's why our storms are more electrical. The storms happen to follow the path of these heavy metal particulates. So that's one of the reasons why all our storms are more electrified. It's because of all these heavy metal particulates in the sky that they're deploying. Yeah, I'm not gonna get into the oil spills, the wastewater, the solid waste. You know, do they, hey, thanks out there, Ricky. Yep, chemtrails of the sea. You know, it used to be tuna of the sea, but it's all radioactive now. Now, I had a thumbnail on the beginning of the video. I wonder if I can bring that in here. Let me see if I can bring the thumbnail in here. Well, if you look at the thumbnail on the beginning of the photo, it shows, I want to thank Jana Dixon for sharing this on the above ground page. This graph shows the data gathered from the Bostic ice core samples, and unlike the tree ring data, it's significantly sound and uncontroversial. Looking at the above graph, there has been 6 periods in the last 415,000 years when global temperature exceeded today's temperature by as much as 9 degrees 10,000 years ago. The global temperature was 5 degrees higher than today. It's all a lie. All right, Captain Guam, we'll find you. But the only bad thing is, yeah, I'll have to show yesterday's because today won't be updated. So, you know, the global warming is a lie, but here's some more information on that sea down in Antarctica, you know, where the rapid heating event is going. So when image from space by radar, blah, 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 what I wanted to look at here is they use some ground penetrating thermography, which can cause earthquakes. You want to know why the hunks of ice are breaking off? It's because of that. So the largest of more than 140 subglacial lakes found under the surface of Antarctica is located beneath Russia's Vostok Station, 13,000 feet under the surface of the Central East Antarctica ice sheet. It's about 160 miles long and 31 miles wide at its widest point. Where's the depth here? So 1,300 feet deep in the northern basin and about 2,600 feet deep in the southern. So the, where was that? Where they were talking about, oh, it's probably down in here. So the airborne ice penetrating radar data first showed lakes beneath the Antarctic ice sheet in the late 1960s. They first found this, or noted this lake, in 1973, but they didn't name it yet. Where was it? It was somewhere in here. They talk about how they used the ground penetrating radar to map this thing out, which can cause definitely pretty good size earthquakes. Anyway, I'll leave the link for this in the description if you guys want to read into it. It's pretty interesting. And then we still got Bill Gates out here wanting to dim the sun to save the earth. He wants to spray millions of tons of dust into the stratosphere to stop the global warming. Critics fear it could trigger calamity. It already is. You know, I showed the document last night of how the military has been using climate change for centuries, ever since, a long time ago. They can change the climate in days. I mean, it's all documented. Just go back to last night's show. I know the audio don't match the video, but what you can do is you can get two players going and sync them. Or maybe John Hart might have out there fixed that up. But yeah, this guy's a definite psychopath. And I can't believe that he just gets away with all this stuff. Yeah, the project is being funded by billionaire and Microsoft founder Bill Gates and the Harvard universities. Wxr is, however, on hold amid fears it could trigger a disastrous series of chain reactions, creating climatic havoc in the form of serious droughts. Hurricanes bring death tolls to millions of people around the world. That's what they want. This is population control. So this is what they're inspired by, a volcano that killed more than 700 people and left 200,000 homeless. And they want to mimic this. They want to kill, 7 million people and leave, whoever's homeless are going to put you in a FEMA camp and break out the guillotines, man. It's just, it's the new world order. Another article on how Bill Gates wants to fund this crazy stuff. There you go. Ground the airplanes. That'll stop climate change right there. So, we found that dust storm yesterday. And let me get that over here. So we had this crazy dust storm down here off of Nambia. This one right here. I mean, that's usually it's just a one little streamer. And man, it was really bad yesterday. I mean, it just grew crazy. And now today, you can see it's let me get up to today. Look at this. It's all the way up here, man. This is a toxic cloud. You got this cloud goes all the way up and around. And when you look at, the mainstream's finally starting to pick it up. Look at these pictures, man. Look at this. That's how bad it was. Let's see if this thing will play. May not play. What the heck? Only 25 people are talking about that? Well, I guess now there's 25 and however many's in the chat. So yeah, man, it was a crazy dust storm. I was wondering if anybody was going to pick it up. And I can't get it to play, so... But look at that, man. That's daytime. That's in the day. That's not at night. That's the day. And the other thing going on over in this area, they have poisonous soil and dust. So the children here are developing lead poisoning because of growing up in a contaminated neighborhoods due to exposure from a former lead and zinc mine. 25 years after the mine's closure, children living nearby continue to be exposed to high levels of toxic lead in the soil and the dust in their homes, backyards. It's toxic dust, and now it's floating all around in the atmosphere in the same area, the hydrogen sulfide eruptions along the coast of Nambia. So you can add the smell of death in there with this toxic dust. You'll smell it coming. Hey, thanks out there, Larry. Thanks everybody out there. Wow, thanks, Larry. Out there on the PayPal yesterday. I didn't write everybody. I didn't know if I should use your guys' names or not, but thanks. You know who you are. Much love. Thanks for helping us. So, yeah, man, just crazy stuff going on in this world. All right, let's go. Let's see what's going on in Guam. Captain Guam said he's getting nailed with the chemtrails. Let's go look. I'm sorry, but they hid Guam off the map. They gotta be right in here somewhere. That's weird. They're gone. But they can't be gone because he's still out there in chat. All right, where's Guam? It's usually in this little black thing right here. What if I go back to yesterday? There they are. We were close. Now we gotta wait on the map to load. Yeah, he's worse than a wanker. Thanks out there, Rick. All right, so let's see if he said that the wow, you got like a cyclone over you. What? Check the radar. So this is yesterday's, or actually it would have been 2 days ago because you guys are on a different time frame. So let's get this to load. Yeah, don't forget you got the nuclear bomb islands right over here. You don't want to eat fish probably on the East Coast. Oh, I already see a couple right here. Yeah, so they're conjuring up the storm. They're going to send this up to the Sea of Japan. So yeah, you guys are definitely getting bombarded with this fake synthetic clouds. They're fabricating the storm. And let me just try to get the layer. It'll take us a minute to get this loaded to check all the layers. Man, it's taking a long time to load. See if we can get up to today. It may not, yeah, it's not going to load all the way up. But definitely spraying your skies. So not even Guam is spared. Here's Guam. So it's already past Guam now. But they're still seeding the storm. They're probably going to send this right on up to the Sea of Japan. Over there to China or Taiwan or somewhere. We'll have to check the forecast model. I guess while we're here, the spraying operation continues in Australia. Look at that, man. That's thousands of miles of spraying operations. You got spraying operations over here on the East Coast. Tasmania's been pummeled. New Zealand. You check the layers. Yeah, it's going to take forever to load. Just give this a second to load here. Oh yeah, I do got a couple. Oh, where'd they go? I had some pictures from my email I was going to show. And they're gone. Hold on, let me see if I can bring that email up here. Pretty crazy spraying operation. So give me a minute to while this is loading. I'll bring my email up and see if I can find it. All right, so this is coming out of Kansas. So let me try to get these up. And bring them over here. Look at these guys, man. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Look at that. That's a spraying operation. It almost looks like the Tinkerbell. So definitely an intentional spraying operation right here. I mean, look at this. This is a fleet. This is a fleet of weather warfare right here. Anyway, thanks. Is that Troy that sent that to me? Troy or Hartus? Anyway, thanks for sending them in, man. That's a crazy spraying operation. I've seen 4 going like that, but I've never seen 6, man. That's, and you can see they were doing the cross patterns too. I mean, look at that. Wow. So mega. Look at that. Even gets thicker, like they turned off, a different mix. And no, that's not the Kachina over there. They're not trying to hide the planet. Wow, that is just insane. Like, commercial aircraft don't fly this close. These are military. They could be drones. Yeah, I can't get zoomed in far enough to see what they are, but there you go. There they are, the weather modification planes. You can go, there's a better way. Instead of sending me all the pictures, there's a way that we could document the pictures. If you just go to Climate Viewer, in fact, you could go to, I think you can go to Climate Viewer News first. Let me try this. Whoops, that ain't what I wanted. Hold on. If you go to Climate Viewer, the Earth monitoring deal, there's a place that you can submit videos and pictures, and it'll put them on the map. You can put the time and day. If you just come over here to climateviewer.org 3D, and if you go to more and you go to Climate Viewer Reports, click that link. In fact, we'll do one right now. We'll do it live so you guys know how to do it. So if you go here, you'll see where everybody's reported the spraying operations. You can click on this interactive map. We've had some here in Dublin, Ireland today on the 27th, Dublin the 26th. And then you could click 21 reports. 216 reports. Wonder if I can make this map bigger. Let's check this one up here in Indiana. 32 reports, so you can click them. Then you can see everybody's photos. And let's click that. Get the more information on them. How do I make it look bigger? So there you go. So let's see if I can do a report here. So just submit a report. And we'll put, let's go put us, see if I can drop a pin in here. We'll just say Kansas. You know what? I can't remember how to do this. Let's put KS. It's actually pretty easy. There we go. Okay, now we got it. See, I just don't have all this time. I don't want to put a bunch of stuff on here, but you put the title, put the description if you want. You can put it under Sky Watch Reports, Freaky Weather, Electromagnetic, or News. You don't have to put your name. It's all optional. And then you can either upload the video or right here you choose file and just click submit and it'll be on there. But this is, a good place to do it. And then you can always go on here and check everybody's reports. Alright, let's get out of that. It looks like they're really messing with their stream again tonight. They're trying to discourage the people off grid. That's what it is. They want to make our internet suck so bad that they want you to get the 5G. They want you to, bow to obey. We got ship tracks. So today we have a super grid of the, chemtrails from the ocean. Couple right in there. Oregon's getting hit pretty good. Let me see if I can find, man, these layers are just, what's the deal? That's weird looking. All right, let me let that load. Sorry about this internet BS. Like I said, we're trying to get this figured out. Hey, thanks out there, Scarlett. Trying to get this internet situation updated, upgraded. I mean, I got the satellite internet. It's the 5th generation. I have the Bluetooth disabled. It's all wired direct, hid way out in the garage in a metal box. So, you know, I don't have Wi-Fi coming in here at all. It's supposed to be top of the line satellite, super expensive, and it sucks. Unless you want to stay up, you know, till 3 or 4 in the morning, and then it does a little better. So they're definitely setting up for the snowstorms coming. So heavy aerosols over Idaho. Yeah, all over Idaho, Montana, Washington, Oregon. Can't really see them in Wyoming right now, but they're probably there. Heavy aerosols over Minnesota, South Dakota. We got some freaky storms that are getting ready to pop off. In fact, let me get the weather radar loaded up. Yeah, I'm so far off grid. There's no cell phone tower. You know, everybody tries to say, "Oh, get AT&T or Sprint." Man, there's no cell phone towers near me. I mean, I barely get a text message. I can't send any pictures. I can't call out. I can't do anything. I mean, I just get, once in a while I get my text messages, but I can't send nothing back. It's pretty ridiculous. Like, I have to use Skype to call out from my house. So it looks like they're laying some ground-based stuff going on here in Kansas. Anyway, yeah, there's supposed to be some wicked stuff. There they are. They're starting to pop off already. Let me put this on 200 frames. And when you look at the map, man, they're really, the conditions they're reporting was not the conditions, man. This is all man-made. Look at this. Looks like a blast zone right here. They've been setting the sky up for a couple days. Illinois is getting just smoked out with chemtrails, heavy chem fog going through Indiana, through Ohio, bombarding Detroit. So heads up on these storms. These are definitely artificially induced. Let's see what these look. There was just nothing here but chemtrails. That's all the chemtrails. And watch the line just start firing up out of nothing. There's nothing right here. And then look, wham, they just start firing up in the chemtrail zones. Completely man-made storm. There is no, look, it's dry air right here other than the chemtrails. It's like they took the magnifying glass and started heating this area. As it gets dark, look, as soon as it gets dark, the storms fire off. Hey, thanks out there, Cindy. So intentional, man. And then they got the man-made snowstorm back behind it. Let me zoom in on this little region here and see if we can pick that up a little better. All right, so now we're zoomed in a little bit better. Yeah, we'll look at the next rads too. We'll be able to spot. Look, I can see the frequencies over here in Colorado. You know, this is like the Skynet, man. They spray the aerosols. You know, they can heat it with the ionospheric heaters. They can heat it with the cell phone towers. They can heat it with the NextRads. That's all aerosols. I watched them spray today. And what are these little black things feeding into the system? So the storm don't even start up till after dark. You know, this isn't from the heating of the sun. It wasn't even hot today. It was actually cool today. So here comes the sun. Get a few weird black little things right there. The sun goes down. And it's almost loaded. Sun goes down. And then all of a sudden the storm. See, it's backwards, man. These should have been like a late afternoon heating of the day thunderstorms, but it's not. This is just a man-made weather system. There's not even no clouds around. This is all chemtrails. And we just blow it up. Ground-based water vapor generators right there. Let's check the radars. Man, microwave pulse rings already. Yeah, it's really weird, man. They're keeping the hot areas, the hot zones. Look at that. This NextRad just blew all that outflow out. No way the storm should even have been forming right there. But yet all the mainstream probably was hyping this shit up because they knew it was coming. Look at this stuff flying below the clouds. Them aren't birds. Them aren't bees. Them aren't bats. Whoa, did you see that ring right there over the military NextRad right there in Omaha? Outfield Air Force Base right there. Now watch this NextRad. When it picks it up on this, like what it's getting ready to do here, look at that ring. That's probably the worst I've ever seen it. So wow, we're going to zoom in. I see some energy being pulsed out of the radar there in Colorado, western Kansas. Whoa, look at that. You had inflow and outflow and then look, the radar pulses. I mean, this is just insane. We're watching full manipulation right here. We're gonna have to get closer. Wrong one. We have to get closer on this. We gotta document this. This is just madness. All right, the first one, man, I don't even know which one to look at. There's so many freaky ones. Let's try the Air Force Base NextRad. Now, I filmed this thing a lot of times when I went up to Omaha. Got some really good footage of the plane that does the surveillance. Can't remember the name of it. This should be very interesting. Yep, right out of Omaha right here. Oh, I can already see the frequency waves. This is going to be pretty interesting radar shots that we're going to see tonight. So the atmospheric conditions, look at that, man. Them aren't you know what they call them, gravity waves. Man, this is complete manipulation, complete pulse out. Look at that beam shooting out. all the outflow. Look at this. This is just insane. This is all going kind of south, southeast. Then they just completely crank up the radar. Let's try the base velocity. Then we'll see the inflowing and the outflowing. Oh man, that's so blatant. I mean, to me, this is just completely blatant manipulation with the Wxr. It's being pulsed. Look at the frequency waves. The whole wind vectors just change, man. It's almost like they're trying to create a vortex out of this thing. Super pulse. Now we got a couple other freaky ones we definitely got to look at too. I just want to document this. You know, we have to document these things because just like the Paradise Fire, we documented the fires were explosions by going through all these different layers. We seen that the Wxr pulsed 2 times and then boom, the fires ignited, like, and they all connected. The radar connected to the explosion points. I mean, it was blatant what they were doing there. I mean, this is to expose them of all the madness that's going on. Now this layer here is the layer you'd be looking at if there was a tornado and you were looking for like a debris ball. Oh man, that's just insane. Look at that stuff zinging around there. And I always like, look at this echo tops. It's just pretty freaky. Then we'll check out a couple other radars. Man, everything's just flowing all kinds of different directions. All right, let's check. Let me put this back on the base reflectivity. And then we're going to go check the other radar that I've seen just completely freaking out. Is one of these two. Audio keeps cutting. Yeah, man, they got the video output really low, man. They're throttling this again tonight. Yeah, I don't get to watch other channels, man. I just don't get time. I mean, I'm lucky if I catch, you know, 1 or 2 videos a day, or usually not even a day, every couple days, maybe. Oh, get off there. Get off there. This one should be pretty interesting too. If it's, look at that. Come on. Really? If that isn't a pulse. And then look at the storms firing up. Come on. This is... Oh my gosh. Look at that. It's just pulsing. 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 Look at that, man. Completely manipulating. You got a bunch of solar farms or wind farms in here. The wind farms are pulsing. I mean, that's just not normal right there at all. And then this, look, there's even hail popping right out of that storm as soon as it fires up. And the atmospheric conditions, look at I can even see the microwaves, the frequencies coming out of there. Engineered weather. Yeah, wake up. Definitely do not consent to this. I mean, this is undeniable. Even a meteorologist can't explain this. You know, he'd probably tell you they're birds. And this is a upgraded radar. Or, yeah, no, it's not either. It don't have the loops on all of them. Could be upgraded, just not have the information for us. Wow, look at, man, this is so blatant right here. You know, the inflow and the outflow winds aren't matching the clouds. This is just microwaves and radio frequency pulses pulsing this out, firing that storm up like crazy. They're holding the winds in place. The focus pulse is going right up here, right where the storms are firing up. I wouldn't be surprised if we have tornadoes tonight. When you look at it in a bigger view, so just let me speed this up so I can get to what I want to see. So we're going to check that radar beside it too. I mean, man, that's just insane. That is so manipulated. We'll see what this one looks like on the echo tops. Not that this does anything, but I just want to see what it looks like. It may not show any data. Hey, thanks out there, Captain Guam. Yeah, big hell. Yeah, I can see hell core as soon as the storms fire up. All right, that's all I wanted to look at on that. Let me get this over to the next radar because we have to document this, man. This is, you could probably use this in a court of law with somebody that could talk the right terminology, that this is being manipulated, like no doubt about it. Sending horizontal pulses, and then it receives it back is what creates the images. But it's the simple fact that they're sending, you know, inside these buildings of the HARP, you have a radioactive, like, capacitor. I can't remember what it's called. We went over it the other night. Look at it. It's like a tractor beam going to that hell core. That's coming straight out of the radar and connecting to the hell core. So look at that. Pulses coming out. Pulses come out. And check this out. This is geostorm right here. Hell. That's big time hell. Big time hell. And there's little fingers of, you know, RF that's going up into each one of these storms. Pulses start. Look at that, hell core in that one, hell core in that one, and they're all connecting. These are powerful storms right here. Look at this. No tornadoes though. Well, we did have a tornado in Wichita, Kansas. That's what we're looking at, where these hell cores are. These were tornadic. Especially that one, man. That's got some spin, some rotation on it. Might as well check, see if we got any, oh, this is definitely an upgraded radar. Look, we have all the different loops. Let's try a 1.5 degree tilt. So this is the upgraded radar, the upgraded NextRad, that's a phased array antenna, just like Hart. It's phased array. Just like scatter radars and all them. So this is a different tilt to it. Whoa. They're creating a vortex. These are all probably tornadic. That was probably like 3 funnel clouds in a row. Let's check the 2.5 tilt. Man, that's awesome when we got the upgraded radars. Yeah, I think people would care if they would be oh wow, how'd I get on base? Oh man, I got on the base velocity. Look, you can definitely tell they're creating more. Let me get back up here to the base reflectivity. I got to document this all these. You know, these things aren't nothing powerful like Hart or nothing, but the simple fact that they're phased array antennas, they use a radioactive engine to get these things going, to send these signals out. Yeah, there's 4 hell cores. 2 of them look like they had rotation. You know, we're looking at this at different angles up into the clouds. Let's go ahead and try the 3.5. Yeah, AI definitely runs all this. Raytheon, the Department of Defense, the Homeland Security, the U.S. Department of Agriculture. They're all responsible. Man, I keep hitting the wrong one. I got to get up here. So, but anyway, since these aren't as powerful as Hart, but if you triangulate, you know, all these can go out. This shows 100 nautical miles, but they can produce signals up to 200 nautical miles around the radar. So we're only seeing, you know, 100 nautical miles worth of information, but yet they can affect the atmosphere 200 miles away. These are wicked fast moving storms too. Now we can get into the base velocities and check the different tilts. But if you put these all on a grid, if you put all these NextRads in conjunction like a circuit board, then you don't need HARP, you don't need ionospheric heating. These are localized manipulations right here. You know, this radar and the next radar probably almost connect. So that's how they're controlling. Then they spray the aerosols in there, give them the metals to work with like a computer, you know, smart nanobots. All the chemtrails are ran by AI. It's a program. I've gone over it a couple times. So is all these radars. This is all built by Raytheon. Every bit of these maps that we use is built by Raytheon. The weird thing is the winds, the inflows and the outflows are just really weird. So let's check the 1.5s. Yeah, man, the stream is just sucking again tonight. You know, whoever's watching this video later on, I almost need to type it probably in the chat that if you bring up 2 of these videos, and then you're going to have to try to sync the audio, unless John Hart's out there. Sometimes he fixes them. You know, I was uploading the HD versions to Brighton, but I'd get like 3/4 of the way through the upload and it wouldn't take, and I'd have to start over, and then it was just killing my bandwidth. I just couldn't afford it. So I'm only going to put really important videos up on there. Like maybe I'll have to upload this one up in HD just so people could see what's matching the audio. It's hard enough to follow this without the audio and video not being in sync. Look, it's the yin and the yang. And then they broke it apart. So at this tilt, the 3.5 tilt, they use the little miniatures, yin and the yang. They're trying to spin some stuff up. So we're just kind of boiling, and boom, they turn it off, and then look what happens. That's what, look at the pulses. Pulses for sure. Just taking a quick look at this, and then we're going to check another radar. Whoa, wonder what them purple flashes are. I'll have to read into this because I'm not really sure what that layer was. So let me look at this. Yeah, we definitely need to check the radar up to the northeast. Man, that one in Iowa was freaking out too. Let me get this back on the on that. Let's go up here where the storm is. We'll check, make sure no tornadoes are going right now. No tornadoes, just severe thunderstorms, flash floods. You know, one thing, you know, a lot of people say they're going to make the grid go down. They're not going to make the grid go down. They need this stuff working. The only thing that's going to take the grid down would be a big time CME or a Carrington type event, and then everything would go down except for the underground bases. Look at this. This is all created. Same thing as the radars below. We can see the hell there. That's starting to spin up. So you got inflow, and then they kind of converge. One thing I want to look at while we got this going is we need to look at the cold air. We need to take a look at the temperatures, because the cold air is more heavy, more dense. And I think I can do this with, let me try to do this with the mid-level water vapor, just see if I can tell. And we're going to check it right here. You know, here's the thing, man. If you look when your local weather's showing you the weather and stuff, and you look at the temperatures around the city, it's always way hotter from all the concrete. See, that's another form of manipulating the weather or climate change. Around every city, everything is so much hotter from all the concrete. There's no trees to filter the air, but yet they want everybody to move into these mega cities, and then all they have to do is release some plague or something, man. They wipe out the whole city. That's why everybody should be sparse and spread out. Definitely ground-based water generators right there. One more thing I want to look at was get the we're going to get back to the radar in here in a second. I need to check this. And then I want to put it on the temperature. All right, so you know, we're looking at springtime storms right now. But look at the temperature difference. Even the super cold, the cold front's 57, and where these storms are firing up are, you know, 68, 61, 70. These storms should not be that intense unless they're being superheated. And that's what we're seeing with the next rads. Now let's take a look at this one on the... Wow, this is another upgraded radar. See, they got a lot of these upgraded radars in the Midwest, right where all the mega flooding was. But you notice that none of these next rad station gets hit by hail. They don't get hit by the tornadoes. It's because they steer them around. We had a perfect example not too long ago in Colorado where this monster hailstorm was steered just perfectly right around the radar. It was coming right at it, and they kept it right around the 50 nautical miles away. It went right around it. See, like, these wind patterns are not making sense. If you had the cold inflow, all this green would be, you know, facing the other way. And then, yeah, the storms just light up. The red green, these are like the inflow winds and the outflow winds. When we're looking at the base velocity is actually the winds, inflow and outflow. Now this is the one I look for, like debris balls. You can pretty much spot a tornado if it's picking up debris with this layer. Yeah, and I'm not really seeing anything like that. So let me look here. We'll do one more. I'm getting really tired, so we'll just want to check. I really want to look at this one in Iowa. All right, let's see what this baby does here. Yeah, we don't get fall or spring anymore. It just goes straight. Like, yeah, this one's definitely doing some odd stuff here. We got searchlight mode beams going out. Hail core down here in North Missouri. Look at this sucker flashing out too. Yeah, pretty wicked. Look at the hail. The purple's like the hail cores. So it's probably quite a bit of hail, quite a bit of wind. These storms are cruising. Big hail core right there. I looked a little north of Kirksville. I think that's what that is there. I want to look at this one on the base velocity. This is not an upgraded phased array. Yeah, the mainstream media, they're paid to make shit up. I mean, that's what they do. They make it up as they go. Half the time they steal like our terminology and then spin it to fit their agenda. Yeah, the sock puppets. Yeah, I don't know what these little gray things are up here. Alright, so the beams are not really being on long enough to do a whole lot. Alright guys, so if you're in the path of these storms, these suckers are going to be laying some heavy rainfall amounts. Let me put the watches and warnings on real quick to see wow, where the hell are they? Wow, where's my watches and warnings? What'd they do with them? Huh. Maybe because, let me see where the supercell composites show up. Wow, look at it, just flashes up out of nowhere. So there you go. There's the radars that are doing the work, creating the destabilized atmosphere in the line. And then they disappear as fast as they pop up. It's really weird. I don't see the watches and warnings. Oh, there they are. They're way down there. Oh, wow. Look at all the... How come it's not showing us all these tornado warnings? Where'd the X go to get that out of there? Wow, I got to slow it down now a little bit. Flood warnings, blizzard warnings, or winter storm warnings. And then watch these tornadoes pop up all over North Missouri, Kansas, all over Kansas. Still a tornado watch box for northeast Missouri, southern Iowa, and parts of Illinois. So let me stop this and we'll see. So right here at the North Missouri, Iowa, Illinois tornado watch, or tornado warning. Even some tornado warnings there in Iowa. Over in Illinois. as we go through here. Look, even back at the beginning of the storms, there's still fire and tornado warnings up in Kansas. Now look at Illinois, man. They're packed with tornado warnings. And look, they just keep getting tornado warnings in Kansas. This could be in for a rough ride, man, tonight. All right, guys. Well, I'm about to call this a show, man. I'm spent. It's Friday night. I always get really tired on Fridays. So, anyway, thanks everybody that helps us out and all that stuff. Keep sharing this out, man. We got to wake the masses. They're asleep. They have no idea what's going on. And yeah, we got to keep on going, man. Running out of time. Anyway, guys, make sure you share and all that crazy stuff. Anyway, let's play a song called Rise. I'll jump over on D Live, give away the treasure chest, then I'll jump in chat for a few minutes. Here we go. Crank it up. Yeah, these things are going to be fast spin ups too, man. Won't be time to do a whole lot, man. It's going to be fast spin ups, really quick, there and gone.